It's Russell back with Gwinnett Lawns in beautiful.
Look at that sky. Look at that sky.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, look, there's one of my competitors.
He's got one of those Aluma rigs. So it is April the 15th, 2023. And on today's video, I'm going to do some long-term maintenance on the Echo SRM 2620. Well, it's a T model now because I converted it to a T model. And it has 170, you can't see that, it's too dark. 178 hours. Don't do what I do. You're supposed to grease the flexible cable drive shaft every 50 hours per Echo. I've never greased this drive shaft cable. Never. So we're going to open it up and look at it. I did make sure there was plenty of grease in the this is the T model gearbox that I added to this trimmer. I made sure that that grease was full. Put it on there. And we'll use the Echo Red Armor again. We'll check the gear case, and I'm going to show you how to do the drive shaft lubrication. So let me show you this cool little tool I made. This right here is just a piece of, it's almost like the size of a welding rod. And on the Echoes, there is a slot. Now, if you didn't have this Edge Pro in here, you could actually see the slot that's in here, but it's in line with this bolt right here. So I just take this tool and put it right there, and I spin this until it drops in, and that way it allows me to stop the head. Now remember, these are backwards, or what they call right hand threads. So to loosen it, it's like you would be if you were tightening it. And then the head just spins off. This is a modified speed feed 450 head. Okay, do not lose that, that's very important. So I've got the bolt modification in here, and I usually get 1 or 2 years of service out of this instead of having to replace these caps. This setup right here is like 50 cents. And I've got plenty of videos on how to do that. I modified this to run the speed feed, or I'm sorry, to run the low noise 0.130 line. Super heavy duty line, and I'm just making all kinds of noise. But anyway, if you didn't know, here is the slot in question. So when I have this, it locks, keeps this from turning, and then I can loosen that. All right, so what I'm going to do also is I'm going to replace this Edge Pro and put it on my spare trimmer or my PAS, because this is just all broken up from tons and tons of use. And I'm going to go ahead and do that and clean this dirt off of here, and then we'll get right to the point where I'm going to remove the gear head. All right, this is a T27. So I'm just gonna loosen this bolt right here. Right, this is just a pinch bolt, and you can see it's loose now. And then I'm going to remove this bolt here, because it's actually, it goes into a hole in the shaft, and then pulls out just like that. Alright, so this is going to be really messy, so I recommend that you use some really good mechanics gloves. If you have them, these are nitrile. And all I'm going to do is pull this out like this. And I'm going to be looking on here for any debris or dirt or anything like that. This looks really, really good. And as I'm doing this, I'm just going to pull this out and run it through the paper towel. Alright. Now at the very end of this, it's got a, it's a 4-sided square. The rest of this is just round, and right here, the last 1.5 inches, it tapers down to where it's just like a square. And it's the same thing on this end. So basically, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the side that goes in the clutch, is just a little bit longer where it's 4-sided than the side that goes into the gear head. So don't get it mixed up. Now before I lay this down, I'm going to clean this again with my rag or my paper towel, because I don't want any dirt at all on here. Alright, I'm going to set this up here where it's clean. So Echo recommends that you do this every 50 hours. I'm definitely not going to tell you not to do it, but I think it's more, you know, some people will actually pressure wash their, I don't know why, they'll pressure wash their string trimmer. I don't even wash it. And I could see how you could get some water in there. That's really the main thing. If you keep everything tight, you're not going to get any dirt in there really. And there's no dirt or anything. It looks really good. The next part is the super messy part. And that's where I'm actually going to grease this. And it takes about, I think the spec is 15 milliliters of grease. Of course I got the regular Red Armor lubricant. And let me show you how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to take some and squeeze it out in the palm of my hand like this. And as I do this, I'm just going to coat this like this, okay? Now as I do this, I'm going to turn the camera so you can see what I'm doing off camera. I'm going to go ahead and just very gently have that suspended. Now I'm assuming, I haven't taken one of these completely apart, but I'm assuming that the plastic insert, that black plastic insert, goes all the way up. It would pretty much have to, or this thing would flop around in there. Now the question, maybe some of you asking, is can you use a different kind of grease? I'm gonna say probably, but you know, this stuff, this tube of Red Armor grease will last you a long time. It's the same grease we're gonna be putting in the gear case. So I would probably say just stick with this. I am a big Amsoil fan, but you can see what I'm using. And you can also see how long it's been as far as the, I really should have done this at least 3 times by now. And again, I'm going to tell you to go do it every 50 hours. I'll probably check this again at probably 200 and something hours. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, obviously it doesn't need to stick out that long. See, it doesn't fit, and then I just rotate it a little bit so that it engages the clutch, and you can feel it when it engages the clutch. Alright, so I'm going to take all this, excess grease, just scraping it off my glove, putting it in there like that. All right. Now, let me get all this off my gloves. The next thing we need to be concerned with is our gear case. I'm going to put this back on just because it'll be easier for me to get this bolt off. So I'm going to just slide this on like this. And the way that you know that it's all the way on is that the bolt hole that was right here, you'll be able to see it. Because it also, that square end has to line up with the gear. So just wiggle it a little bit and it'll go right in like that. And we'll tighten this up, just snug it up. All right, and then this is the pinch bolt, which keeps this tight on the shaft itself. Okay, so once it's like that, it's good. All right, now let us turn our attention to greasing the gear case. Yep, 13 millimeter. Make sure to clean around with the wire brush around the circumference, and even with your paper towel, just to make sure there's nothing, no debris that's going to get in there. So you really can't see in there very good. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the tube of the Red Armor. I know there's a fitting, a little pump gun that you can screw in there, but I'm just going to take this like this and press it in there. I'm just squeezing it in there, and then I'm going to hold my finger over it as I rotate the gear shaft. I'm going to do this again. and it doesn't hardly take any. It's just a little bit, unless it was really dry. Okay, so once I rotate it a couple times, that's it. Both of these are important, but definitely, most definitely, you need to make sure that this gear case, that you grease that. I greased this, or made sure it had grease in it enough when I put it on, because this only has probably, I don't know, maybe 40 hours on it, if that. So this tube, I'll put a link to Amazon, and it's really good stuff. So now that we have this on, everything's nice and tight. Just turn the end here, make sure it everything's turning. I can kind of hear it turning up where the clutch is. And just so you guys can see what I'm doing with this, when this is on, right, when it's on, this is what this is actually doing. This is, when I have this in here, it's keeping this from spinning so that I can remove the head. If you just have your regular speed feed 400 head and the regular trim guard, you'll be able to see this slot. But just remember, it's right in line. They put it right in line with the gear case bolt where you put the grease. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go get my my other Edge-It Pro, my new one I have, and put it on there next. All right, so the job is complete. We've got everything maintained for now for the next 50 hours. Got the new Edge-It Pro on there. And hopefully you guys are doing this to your string trimmer. Don't go 170 hours like I did. It didn't really need it, but you should still do it anyway. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you on the next one.